Hey, I'm Megan. I'm 20 something and I want to be love bombed. And I saw another guy make a video on this and I was like, wow, I completely agree. I want to go on vacation the first 2 weeks that we know each other. And I want to introduce you to all the most important people in my life. And I want to go to bed saying, good night, baby. I love you so much. I'm going to miss you. Can't wait to see you next time. And it seems like nobody wants to fall in love these days.
There's a really grown-ass man out here with full-on jobs, like good jobs, and will still ask you to buy them something. Bro, we are not safe out here. We are not safe out here.
Nothing hurts more than when somebody who is not your type breaks your heart or ghosts you. That's in the pain. Like your ego is bruised. Not like your ego. You will not forgive yourself. Now let me break it down. Imagine person where be say normal, you will not date this kind of person because they are not your type. Then you find yourself dating them because you're like, this person is nice. Person is very, smart. Let's give it a try. Sometimes it's even out of pity. You're like, this person has just been there all this while. Let me just, don't hurt him. That is you trying to be considerate. Then the person you are trying to not hurt will now go around and hurt you.
We don't want to throw us under the bus here. I'm not sure if we actually want nice guys. I think we do, but we think that in the same way that we want to eat healthy. Like, yeah, a salad will make you feel better afterwards, but sometimes you crave chocolate cake. And sure, the chocolate cake makes you cry afterwards, but it tastes really good in the moment. And sometimes the nice guys that are salads, sometimes they'll be like, well, the girls just like assholes, and so they'll try and pretend that they're chocolate cake, but we can tell, we can see that you've really just drizzled chocolate syrup on top of the salad, and we see right through it. And I know more girls feel like this than what they're willing to admit, because I've read the books you've suggested. I've read the smut books that you're reading, and it's always written by some woman named Genevieve that lives in Rhode Island with her 3 kids and her husband, but what she's fantasizing about, what she's thinking about, is some multi-million-dollar asshole, and the dialogue that she's writing with it is like, he shoved his bleep into my bleep until I was bleeping, bleeding, and pulling my... I'm like, you don't like nice guys.
I have a serious question. Where are all the men at who know how to hold a conversation? You know, like where you ask a question and they answer, and then they ask a question and then you answer and you ask a question, to form a connection, to build some interest, to get to know each other on a deeper level. Where are these men? Because they're not on Hinge. My shoulders are sore from carrying all of these fucking conversations with men on Hinge. Like, God forbid someone asked me a follow-up question.
What's good, guys? It's your boy Josten J coming to you with another video. Let's cook, boys. Let's cook. All right. Women are confused because men don't try anymore in modern dating. We got action. Let's cook.
Dating in 2026 is literally psychological warfare. I think I would rather start picking up drinking and smoking at an unhealthy level, because the way this year's going so far, someone get me a fucking cigarette. Talking to this guy on Hinge for a few weeks, and he's already giving me the vibes of being like obsessed with me. Like, he wants to make me his girlfriend. He's saying all the right things. Finally pick a date and time that works to go to dinner. He picks the restaurant, he makes the reservation, and he's telling me that he's going to like bring me flowers and all the things. I don't let men pick me up on the first date because it gives just a little bit of a scary vibe. And so I went to go meet him at the restaurant. I get there and the host is like, your other party's not here yet, but we'll go ahead and get you sat. I'm like, okay, no big deal. He's running a little bit late. There was a reservation. So, 10 minutes goes by, 15 minutes goes by, and I'm starting to get really anxious. So I'm texting him, and then I even try calling him. It's going straight to voicemail. And so I'm like, let me check Hinge, because your mind just starts going and jumping through all these hoops of like, there's no way I'm getting stood up right now. That's like, that can't be the answer. You better be in like a car accident, but still trying to get to me. I go on Hinge. This fucking ogre unmatched me. I want to cry just talking about this, because like, why would you put someone through all of that? Well, you're fucking lost, Jonathan, because I had packed an overnight bag. I had brought lingerie, spicy cubes for us. It was about to be crazy. I was going to put this thing on you. Guys, get it together. Stop wasting so much time.
Men are smarter than women think that we are. He could clearly tell that she was not that interested in him. Ladies, we can tell when you're not that interested in us. Just hoping that you guys get the memo. So bro basically went full on New Edition. He went from if it isn't love to sorry, you're not my kind of girl. And that's just how it went down. Remember, guys, women leave out small key details of a story. They always do. Just by the way she's speaking about this man lets you know her interest level in this man. He picked up on that. He picked up on that. That's why guys don't try. Let's get the next one.
So I tried to have a Hinge date and he messaged me and was like, hey, I'm still down to go if you are. And I was like, yeah, of course. And he said, I actually just lost my credit and debit cards and I'm waiting for them to come back in the mail. Is there any way that you can pay and I'll give you cash later? I said, yeah, of course. Just meet me at the restaurant. I'm not going to the restaurant because what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean? I don't even actually want to meet you. I'm literally just here for free food. And you're telling me I have to pay and then see you again to get cash? Absolutely not. Sounds like a scam if you ask me.
He wasn't really broke. He was just testing her. He was just testing her. And it's crazy that men have to do that nowadays. But you hear what she said in there, right? This is another reason why men don't try anymore. And this is why they ditch food dates completely. She just wanted to get free food. But now she would have to go on a date with you, even though she doesn't really like you, pay for the food, and then see you again to get the cash. Hell she look like? This is why dinner dates, no go. He wasn't broke, because I know what guys are going to think. That's weak anyway. No. Another thing I want to make perfectly clear. Real men don't give a damn about what women want once they know the truth. And we're going to get into that. Let's get into the next one.
I tried booty calling a man last night and he called me and was like, hey, so I actually think that it would make more sense if I took you to dinner first before we did that. Why was I upset? I was upset. All I wanted is the man to take me to dinner, and now I'm upset that he won't come over. But we could still do dinner later. But tonight, I want to hang out. He said, I'd rather not. I'm the problem. But I'm not going to ever say that I'm the problem. I'm going to blame all the prior men in my life that led me to this moment to now be this problem. So it's all your faults anyways.
Now, let's get into this. Why was she upset with this guy? Because she wants fun time with him and a date afterwards. So doesn't it make sense why I always tell you guys you have to get physical? We need to see if the sexual attraction is there. Don't you also see how being too nice and trying to be intentional, it literally shies them away from you, dries them up. They don't really care about you like that. But then sometimes they're going to want intentional dating from guys that they're not really into. But this guy, she's really into him and he wants to be intentional. But she wants to sleep with him first, date second. Once guys understand the truth, they're not looking to put in a bunch of effort. The guys who are still in fairy tale Disneyland want to put in all the effort. This is why women don't want you to know the truth, because there goes their offers. But this is also why men don't put in effort, because once they see this, once they experience this a bunch of times, they're like, oh, it's supposed to go this way. Everything that I've been trained to believe is a lie. It's a lie. And once again, women do not stand on anything. Due to circumstances, that's when things will change. Due to how she feels, that's when things will change. Due to her attraction level for said guy, that's when things will change. Let's get the next one.
Okay, I am a 36, almost 37-year-old single female living in San Diego. And I was seeing a guy for over a month and could not get this guy to ask me out on a proper date. It was like pulling teeth. He wanted to stay at home, get takeout, just be on the couch. And I'm just curious if I'm the only one going through this. And at the end of it, I mean, we're no longer talking. There was about 11 days of radio silence to the point where you're questioning, like, is the guy dead? No, he found someone else. So, yeah, I guess I'm just scratching my head for all the single females out there. Are the men just not putting in the effort anymore?
This man didn't have to plan any dates because you were actually interested in him. You were actually interested in him. As opposed to a guy that you really don't have that much interest in, you would want all these dates from him because you don't feel like you're getting anything in exchange, all to get on camera and complain about this guy. Once again, guys, Not the guys that want to take them on dates and be sweet to them. What they do is they talk about the guys that are indifferent to them, the guys that they're seriously interested in that just aren't that interested in them. That's what they talk about. Or the guys that they thought they were giving a chance that ended up not really thinking they were a big deal. Any sort of indifference to them in their demands, they will always remember you. And I know what a lot of guys think. At the big age of 36, women don't act like this. Absolutely hilarious. Let's get the next one.
So I went on my first date of 2026 the other day, like probably a week ago. And it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't great. And it also like really wasn't a date. And I was kind of annoyed because like this man had been asking me out since like had to be like September of last year, right? Consistently asking me out, and then he finally came up with like this clever way to ask me out, and I finally gave in literally a week ago. So just, and all the time he was asking me out, right, you would think he would have like planned something, like this is what I'm gonna do when I take her out. Like you had all this time to figure something out. And you know, when we did end up going out, like it was a compromise because it was like the only day I had to go out and he already had plans, so I kind of like got put into the plans. But then afterwards I chose where to eat, I bought the food, and it's just like, how do you like ask to take me out literally like had to be a dozen times and not have anything planned and let me pay for the food and you don't even offer to pay for it? Crazy.
She thought that this guy was beneath her, talking to her since September, chasing her to get a date, all to give him a chance. See, once again, this is their attitude towards men, that they're giving a chance. This is why if she doesn't have genuine desire off the rip, go away. Okay, NVM. Because this is how they're going to look at the situation. So now Burl hits the Uno reverse card on her. How are you going to let me pay for the date and plan and this and that and the third? Because he could obviously tell that you were not that interested in him. So he played along and got a free meal. Players are going to play. She played the game a little bit better than you. Let's get the next one.
There was a man, let's call him Toxic Finance Bro, because he is toxic and he works in finance. We matched on Hinge a few weeks ago and we exchanged a couple of messages, but I ended up ghosting him for no reason in particular. Actually, one thing that I did find a bit sus about him was he kept being like, what are you doing tonight? Do you want to get drinks tonight? And I didn't like that. It was giving kind of hookup energy. It was not giving intentional date planning. But other than that, I had no real reason for ghosting him other than the fact that I had several other matches and I can only talk to so many people at once. Fast forward a week later, it's a Thursday night and my friend and I are in Acme. And a guy approaches me and he says, hey, I would love to buy you a drink. And I was like, sure. And, you know, I did not recognize this guy. And then he introduced himself and said his name. And that's when I put two and two together because his name was quite unique. And I realized, oh my God, we matched on Hinge. And I told him, I was like, oh my God, we talked on Hinge and I ghosted you. And he was like, oh my God, yeah, I remember you. Anyway, we really hit it off. I think we're both just really enthralled by the fact that we had been brought together unexpectedly like this. And so we were talking for ages and then we started making out, and we were making out in the corner of Acme for, you know, an hour or two. It was a while. This man was saying all these things to me. He said to me, I can tell that you're a high value woman, and so I want to take you on an amazing date. And I said, yeah, sure, like I like the sound of this. I was a bit disappointed when he suggested that we just go for drinks at Bar Pisolino. If you're not aware of it, Bar Pisolino is a drink and coffee spot in the West Village. It's very casual. You can't even make reservations. They don't even have proper tables to sit. It's more somewhere that you would like walk in and grab like a quick aperitivo or something. It's not a date spot, and it's also not even open late. For a date, if you're going to do drinks, if a man is being intentional about the planning, I would expect him to pick somewhere where you can make a reservation and it's like a nice cocktail bar. So it was giving kind of low effort. But you know, I decided to go along with it. He said, let's meet there at 8:30. Fast forward to an hour or so before the date, he texts me and he says, hey, I'm running a bit later because I have to stop by my friend's birthday and wish him happy birthday. So I'm going to be a bit more like 9:15. I'm kind of annoyed by this because I'm like, well, if you knew you had your friend's birthday, then why did you try and schedule a date on the same night? And of course, what's convenient for him is because he picked a casual walk-in spot, he can keep pushing it back as late as he wants because he doesn't even have to be there for a reservation time. Anyway, we finally meet at 9:45. So he has pushed it 1 hour and 15 minutes later than we originally agreed to meet. So when we did finally start our date, we had a really nice conversation and we had, again, really strong chemistry, which I was expecting because when we had met at Acme 2 days prior, we did have really good chemistry. The conversation was really good, but then after an hour, Bar Pissolino was closing because they close early. So they were closing up and the guy said to me, okay, would you like to go find a different bar or do you want to just go to my place? And normally I would not be comfortable going back to a guy's place on essentially the first date. But because it was 11 p.m. on a Saturday in freezing cold January, and I knew that whatever bar he would find for us to just go to at short notice wasn't going to be good vibes, it was probably just going to be a random dive bar, I was like, there's kind of no point just for the sake of going to a second place. So I just said, look, like whatever you prefer is fine. So he said, okay, let's go back to my place and continue hanging out. And I said, okay, fine. So I said, I'm just going to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, I came out and he said, hey, I'm really sorry to do this, but my friends that I was with before I met you just now, they just texted me that they're about to go out. So I want to go meet up with them and go out with them. So I have to go now.
Nothing matters. What matters is she sexually attracted to you or not? Check this out. So you weren't into him because he didn't plan a date. You ghost him, but now you're into him still without any date. But he planned the date and you didn't actually like the date, but you still hooked up with him before there was any date. They don't stand on anything. They don't stand on anything. See, what happened was she thought, okay, because he's not in front of me, and this happens a lot with women, they can play games with you through the internet, Instagram, dating apps, but when they're face to face with you, there's more attraction there. Because everything's in front of them. They got to make a split-second decision as to on the app. Sometimes they like to be warmed up or whatever. She tried to reject him, but when she was around him, she was sexually attracted to him. And this story is funny because she was willing to go back to his place, even though she doesn't do that. And she probably doesn't kiss on the first date too, but she was willing to do that without a date. She didn't need him to put in any effort when she met up with him. Well, she bumped into him. She didn't need any effort from that dude. She didn't. All to turn around, right? When she comes back out here, she's going to tell a guy, I don't kiss on the first interaction or the first date. I don't usually go to guys' houses. I don't do that. Really? Oh, really? This is why dudes don't put in effort. Because see, the guys that don't put in effort that they're complaining about are the guys that they want. And guys that they want have had interactions like this time and time again. Time and time again. It's important to hook up first. Guys think that that's not true. You need to build rapport and relationships and friendships. And listen, you're going to keep being frustrated if you believe in all of that. Shout out to everybody that started their relationship off as friends. Not shaming you. Just guys need to know the truth. Sexual attraction is the most important part. Let's link it back to the other clip. She wanted to get busy with him. She wanted to go on a date, but she wanted to do that first. Maybe the time of the month it was. Maybe she was super sexually attracted to this guy. Maybe she just had an itch that she needed to get scratched. Doesn't matter. It's all one and the same. And this story is funny because that woman was willing to follow his lead because she was sexually attracted to him, not based on the effort that he put in. But they tell you that when you put in effort, it gets them wet, it gets them more sexually attracted to you, it gets them more aroused. No, they just like that sometimes. That's not what arouses them. at all. She was willing to follow his lead even if it only led to sex. Willing to follow his lead even if it went to no relationship. But she was willing to follow his lead because she was sexually attracted to him. It's not about the effort. Guys wake up every day. That's why men aren't putting in effort anymore. If you got a woman that you're talking to right now, or a woman that you think likes you and you're trying to take her out, start slow, brother. Low investment. Get creative, but don't spend a bunch of money on her because it doesn't make any sense to do so. These women out here run game on dudes that have no idea about the game themselves, that are really not in the game, that have no experience, and they're able to get over on those guys. Don't be one of those. Because if they're attracted to you, everything will flow naturally. So you've been lied to. They make you think in society that the right girl will accept your kind gestures and you overextending yourself for her. It's going to make her want you more. Absolutely not. The right woman for you is going to accept you as you are, because you should be a stand-up man. She's going to accept you and like you for you and go with the flow and follow through. That is all. So this was women get confused because men don't try in modern dating. Hope you guys got a lot out of it. It's your boy Josten J. Get with you boys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go, boys. Let's go.
I just had an epiphany. I'm unemployed. I live with my parents. I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a husband. I don't have kids. I'm a fucking loser. I'm a loser. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm a loser and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm a fucking loser. Woo!